Art has always been a gateway to storytelling without using words, a way to subtly showcase important life events, or a way to illustrate in detail what's going on with the world. Some artists even dedicate their entire artistic careers to creating art pieces surrounding their heritage and culture. Carmen Lomas Garza is a well-renowned Mexican-American artist who uses her artwork to tell the stories of the Chicana movement and her heritage. First, I'll tell you about her early life and career. Second, I'll show and explain a few of her pictures and cutouts. Last, I'll showcase a couple of her public exhibitions and detail their importance. Born in Kingsville in 1948 in Texas, Carmen Lomas Garza showed high interest in art from a young age. Tejano author Sammy Munson notes that Carmen was fascinated watching her mother paint and felt like what she did was magic. At the age of 13, Carmen decided she wanted to pursue art as her career. Her art was heavily influenced by her mother and her grandmother, as they often let her assist in their projects, and eventually she created alongside them. Her grandmother was skilled in embroidery on paper using cutouts, while Carmen's mom was an exceptional painter. Another big influence on Carmen's art was her heritage and culture. She's Mexican-American, though Carmen herself likes to embrace the title of a Chicana as well. And she grew up in a predominantly Mexican-American neighborhood. Carmen and her brother attended schools, elementary through high school, where Spanish was prohibited to be spoken. Every time Carmen and her brother, or even Carmen's friends, would do so, teachers would use a paddle as punishment. Eventually, she was able to graduate and began attending Texas A&M University in Kingsville, where she received her bachelor's. Carmen then went on to get a master's at San Francisco State University. During her time at college and undergrad, Carmen was able to gain exposure and perspective from many different cultures, and her experiences during this time only further solidified how she wanted to educate people on her own culture and would stop at nothing to achieve her dream. She currently lives in San Francisco and enjoys telling the world about her available pieces. Now that I've discussed Carmen's history and career, I'll show you a couple of different pieces of work from Carmen's official website and give some background on them. First up is Felino's Breakdancers, created in 1988. This painting is popular because, according to Janin Escobar Garcia, it depicts an important era for breakdancing and hip-hop and its technology, such as the boombox that you see near the storefront. The next painting is Hammerhead Shark on Padre Island. Done in 1987 on an oil canvas, this painting was inspired by United Farm Workers who marched through Carmen's hometown in 1965, demanding respect for their culture and hard work. She said in an interview with the Kansas City Star that Carmen wanted to create a painting that was ordinary and about ordinary life, since at the time, the Mexican-American art scene had been flooded with paintings and other artwork showing the dark and painful reality of life for her audience at the time. Los Posadas, released in 2000, is the last painting I want to show you. An art piece Carmen did that exhibits an extended devotional prayer, which is celebrated widely between Latinos and Hispanics. It is typically celebrated between December 16th through December 24th. The first remnants of this prayer celebration popped up in 1586 in Mexico. It's a 9-day interval prayer celebration with stories from the Bible. The painting did exactly what Carmen wanted. It brought different demographics of people together to unite a similar tradition, with Catholic roots and Protestant followers, as well as the many different Hispanic and Latino cultures that could enjoy and celebrate this interpretation of this holiday. Now I'll talk about Carmen's other kind of art, papel picados, or cutouts. These pieces of art are created through the folding, cutting, and creasing of non-specified colored paper to reveal gorgeous landscapes or portraits that can represent the wind during Dia de los Muertos festivals. The first example is Haciendo Papel Picado, which means making paper cutouts. Created in 1998, but not much information on this piece has been revealed or even discussed, so I can't tell you much about the meaning besides the fact that papel picado is important in Latino and Hispanic cultures, and Carmen most likely wanted to convey it as ingrained in special tradition. This cutout, Ofrenda para Antonio Lomas from 1995, is a laser-cut steel piece. And if you couldn't already tell, is an ofrenda for a man named Antonio Lomas. If you aren't familiar, ofrendas are offerings brought and placed in a home during a Dia de los Muertos celebration, a way to offer the dead to the setting altar. Carmen most likely made this piece to honor a past family member. Now that you've gotten a chance to look at Carmen's paintings and cutouts that depict her independent creativity flow that typically costs money to view, I'm going to introduce you to two important and public installations that you can see yourself for free. Baile, the copper cutout commissioned by San Francisco International Airport, is considered one of the staple views for people coming and going. It actually represents the window view Carmen has outside her studio in Mexico, where she freely watches Jarabe Tapatio dancers. She was hoping to give travelers in the airport a glimpse of a world they may not know, and just how beautiful things unknown can be. SFO commissioned this piece from Carmen in 1999. The next and probably most meaningful installation is located in Houston, Texas, wrapped around the gates of a rundown motel turned low-income living facility. It's called New Hope Housing, as the nonprofit agency that bought out the said rundown motel and took on a great challenge of turning it into an affordable single-room occupancy building for low-income holders, is also named New Hope Housing, and they're based out of Northern Virginia. Not shown in these pictures, the installation also includes stained glass windows adorned in mosaic patterns. Here you can see a picture that allows you to view the commission put together, while this one represents more Mexican-American dancers donned in traditional attire. The metal murals are also cutouts, the best style of artwork to display around a building, since it's more inclined to withstand weather changes, tagging, and the wear and tear of tourism, as well as having the easiest upkeep for where it's set up. For this banner, you can make out 2 flamenco players, 1 man and 1 woman. There's an elaborate wind pattern billowing behind them with flowers and birds intricately placed over it. Her mural around the housing unit has drawn a lot of support, donations, and all around has made the place a little brighter for those living there trying to make the best of what they have. In this speech, I told you about one of the most influential and important Chicana artists, Carmen Lomas Garza, who showcases adoration for her Mexican-American roots and spotlights political, personal, and familial topics. Starting off, I give you a brief summary of the bloom of Carmen's love for art and her career. Then I introduced Carmen's artwork and detailed important aspects of each. Finally, you took a look at 2 installations Carmen commissioned. With Carmen's cutout Baile being on display at San Francisco International Airport, and her having quite a few other art pieces on display around California, maybe you can take on the appreciation of Chicano culture and expression created by the hands of one of the most respected Mexican-American artists. While you might not know much about this beautiful and rich culture, it's never too late to take a few moments to admire the obvious beauty of Carmen's depictions.